sometimes when God is speaking to you, you just have to listen. And that's the topic for today's video. But the question is really, when God is speaking to you, are you actually listening? So today, I'm just going to show you my books that are set up that I'm going to prop you up on, and hopefully that stays. Perfect. Okay. So today I had this really amazing thought, and I thought that, well, first of all, I've been really reconnecting with God lately, and in a way that I never have before. In the past, I would always just think that God was very separate from me, and that like God is so much higher than me, God is so much more magnificent than me, God is like on another frequency, another level than me. I am below God. I don't know how to connect to God because I can't, because God's so big and so amazing. And so I've always kind of held that belief, and that belief that God is separate from me, that God is more than me, that he is hard to reach, that has really stopped me from being able to connect with God. But as time has gone on, and especially a lot more lately, I have started to remind myself and remember that God is everywhere, and that God is in everything, and that God created me and God is within me. So today I was just eating my morning acai bowl that I made, and I was sitting down kind of looking at some of my goals and my affirmations and thinking about, the future. And some of my affirmations are that, like, I'm always being guided, I'm always being supported, I'm one with God, I am always connected with God. And so then I had this thought that came in that I know is God, and it said, God is always speaking to you. Are you listening? Because God is never trying to stop you or hurt you or block you from your desires and from your dreams. And so God is actually always there, kind of like guiding you and supporting you. And you're the one, your little ego self is the one stopping yourself from receiving these messages, or stopping yourself from taking action on your dreams. So that came to me this morning when I just thought, God is speaking. Am I listening? And I started reading this little book. It's called How You Can Talk with God. It's probably backwards because I'm using the front-facing camera, but it's How You Can Talk with God by Paramhansa Yogananda. And Paramhansa Yogananda is an amazing yogi that I do follow his teachings, and I follow his readings, and he believes in connecting with God through meditation. And I believe that you can connect through God in many, many ways, but meditation is one way, and I really appreciate that avenue as well. So today, the question is that you need to ask yourself is, if God is always speaking to me, always supporting me, always guiding me in my life, in my dreams, am I listening or am I blocking? And so the next question many people have is like, well, how can I tell if it's God or not God? God always speaks in love. So when you have a feeling that's really exciting, something that you want to do, that's God. That's God communicating to you through your feelings, because feelings are a way of communicating as well, not just words. Many people think that God, how can we communicate with God? Oh, well, he's not talking to me, or I'm not talking with him, or her, or they, or them, or whatever. God is not definable. God is everything. So when I say like he or they, or just even like making it seem like it's a person, it's not, because God is everything. But God is conscious, so God does communicate, and we are part of God, and we communicate. So we also have an ego, though, in this earthly existence. And our ego is small-minded. Our ego believes that we are a self, a human self, and our ego keeps us safe in this world. And so our ego also is in our mind. So we have our ego kind of running the show with our subconscious mind, everything we've learned in life, and it's kind of running the show and making sure we stay safe, making sure we're good. And all of this time, God is speaking to us. God is, giving us these amazing ideas, these amazing feelings, these amazing dreams. And the ego is not really aware that it's part of God. So the ego, likely, coming from its limited perspective, will think thoughts like, how is that ever going to happen? That's impossible. That's too hard. I don't want to. I'm safe and cozy here. I don't feel like doing that thing. Or that thing is scary. So our ego holds us back. And God is just wanting us to express and to live because we are unlimited beings. We are infinite beings. So that's the first thing, is like knowing that God is speaking to you all the time through your feelings. It could be through words if you get messages in your mind, or just hear certain things like words. That can be a message from God as well. It really can be anything because God is everything. And when it is love, that's how you know that it is God. So if you're really out of touch and really out of tune with yourself and your heart and with spirituality, one really important thing that you can do every day is spend at least a couple minutes in silence. Really focus on your breath, close your eyes, and just breathe. Try not to think of anything. Try to just focus on your body, being in the present moment. This is called mindfulness. And when you have mindfulness, you're focused on your breathing, you're focused on the present moment. You can do it right now, right here with me. Just close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Feel yourself, feel your body from head all the way down to your toes. Feel your whole body. Breathe. Calm down your nervous system. Focus your energy on your heart. Feel your heart right now. You can even put your hand over your heart. Breathe into your heart and just say, I am here now, and I'm always one with God. And you can, ask God to reveal yourself to me. Reveal yourself, God. And then notice if you feel anything. Notice if you hear anything. Just pay attention. This mindfulness, this silence is going to help you so much in being able to connect with spirituality, with your higher self, with angels and your guides, and ultimately God, because God is everything. God is all of it. But our mind, our ego mind, as I mentioned before, is really what keeps us in these lower limited frames of life. We see it in a box. This is the box of life. You stay inside the box and you're safe inside the box, and you don't go out there because we don't know what's out there. But out there is where there's so much more of life, so much more expansion, so much more love. And God is all of it. God is inside the box. He's outside the box, everywhere. All of it. Me, you, my phone, my books, my table, our house, our home, the sky, the stars, the moon, the dolphins, the water, the ocean, the trees. God is all of it. And so God is always communicating with us through our environment, through our feelings inside our heart, and maybe in our words, in our mind when we have thoughts or ideas. So that's the first step, is really to just practice mindfulness. Bring some silence into your day, even if it's first thing when you wake up in the morning or when you go to sleep at night. Just close your eyes, sit there. If you have to just like find somewhere that you can just be alone for a couple minutes, literally just breathe, calm your heart, calm your body, listen, and be present. Because God really, it's easier to hear God when it's still, when it's quiet, as opposed to when there's a lot of other things going on, because then you're distracted by all those other things. So that's the first step. The second step is, once you can, maintain that calm energy and you're open to hearing or feeling communication with God, you don't want to judge anything that's coming up, anything that's coming in, any ideas. And I mean anything. So like, if any thought comes up to you, like, well, you should be doing this, or, maybe your own thoughts are judging yourself. Don't judge those thoughts. It's okay. It's okay to feel, judgment every once in a while, but notice if you're judging yourself. Because God's not judging you. I'll tell you that. That's for sure. God is not judging you. So when you have a thought that like, you should be doing this, or you're not doing enough, or, just something really negative about yourself, that's not God. God loves you unconditionally. God loves you wholeheartedly, exactly as you are, accepts you. He made you. You're perfect. Like, there's nothing you need to do. So that is the next thing, is like, don't judge whatever thoughts come up. And if the thoughts that come up while you're in your, silent space, if those thoughts are judgments, then just like hear them. Don't judge them on top of it. I used to do that all the time. I used to think like negative thoughts, and then I would be really upset at myself for thinking negative thoughts. Like, wow, you're so negative. You're so negative. You're like being really negative right now. And like, you should feel bad about that. Like, you should be better. And I literally used to talk to myself like that. I used to make myself feel bad just for having negative thoughts about myself, or negative thoughts about life or the world. And those are just judgments. Those are just my ego trying to step in and run the show and make me small and make me safe and keep me scared, for survival. But we have transcended beyond survival mode now in today's world. We have the ability, let me say that, we have the ability to transcend survival mode. Many, probably the majority of the world, is still living in survival mode. And I notice when I'm feeling that way too, when I'm feeling like scared or nervous, or like you just feel like you're running from like a lion, right? Because that's where it really stems from. But ultimately, we're just running from our own thoughts, because our thoughts are scaring us, because our thoughts are mean and judging and fearful. God is not any of that. God is, God's everything. So yes, God is part of that. But the true essence of God is pure love. So those judgments, those fears, even though they may be like a part of God, because God is everything, the ultimate truth of God is pure love. It's everything, but it's pure love. So don't judge. Try your best not to judge. And then feel your heart again, and just like remember that God doesn't judge. God doesn't judge. God loves. God accepts. God understands. So this mindfulness practice that you're going to be doing really is going to allow you to bring up a lot of thoughts, a lot of ideas that you've probably had in your belief systems for a very long time. And when you connect with God, you begin to see those things that are not true, because ultimately God's truth of love and understanding and peace and abundance, that's your true nature. So I believe that the world is really going through this transcendence right now, where we are letting go of that old self. We are letting go of those limited ways of being, the fearful, like just small-minded self. That's not really who we are. We are so much bigger than that. And that is what's so amazing and exciting about this time. So, and that's why it's so important to talk with God and to communicate with God, because we are getting closer and closer and closer towards living these higher vibrations that are more aware of our connection with God. Consciousness exists, and there are different levels of awareness where we can actually expand our consciousness and be able to become more of who we really are. Because as I mentioned, we think we're this small little ego. It's not who we are. We are so much more than that. And so that's who we are becoming. So the last thing I will leave you with, which is another great way to communicate with God, is by journaling. So journal out your thoughts and emotions, like whatever you have going on in your mind, like literally just say it all. I don't care what it is, just say it all. If it takes you a long time to write it all out, write it all out. And just put it all out on paper. Whatever it is you're going through, whatever it is you're thinking. Could be small, could be big, could be painful, could be amazing. Anything that's going on in your life. Once you've got it all out and you've written everything you can think of that's on your mind right now, and there's nothing left, then you can take a couple deep breaths, same thing as before. Close your eyes, hand on the heart. Deep breaths. Bring your mind to your body and become present from your head all the way down to your toes. Very present in the now moment. I am now in the present moment. I am one with God. And then what you can do is you can journal. God, what do you want me to know? Or God, what do you have to tell me? Or God, what should I do in this situation? Whatever question you want to ask God, you can just say, God, what do I do? What do you want me to know? And so that is another way you can communicate with God, through writing. And that is a huge, huge way that many people communicate with God. In fact, there's like an incredible book that I was also just reading, which is called Conversations with God, where Neil Donald Walsh began journaling, and he started getting messages coming through in his writing from God, and he was answering all his questions. So it's totally up to you, what you believe is true, what you believe works for you. I'm just giving you some options of things that have worked for myself and things that I believe really genuinely do connect you to God. So, God, what do you want me to know? Journal that out. I journaled it out, and right before I started recording this, and I got told by God that you're on the right path. And this is how I do it, is like, I just feel whatever like is coming up for me. So if I'm like, God's telling me I'm on the right path right now, I feel like I'm on the right path, I just write it out and just keep writing, and like new ideas will come. And I just trust that whatever comes out is what's meant to come out. I'm not judging it, right? We're not judging it. Just like we're not judging the thoughts that come to our mind when we're in our mindfulness, and we're not judging our words when we're writing them down for the journaling. So you're on the right path. This is what God told me. Exactly where you're meant to be. You are so in alignment with me right now. It's amazing. As I was saying, I'm proud of you. Happy you know about our connection. I'm here. I'm here for you. I'm expressed in all that is, everywhere. I'm always around you, supporting and guiding. I don't speak in words, but I can when needed. I'm here in your feelings. How do you feel about something? That's your cue. I feel love always. So that's what God told me. And that's what brought me here today to share with you how to connect to God through our mindfulness, through our silence, through our connection with our heart and our awareness and our presence in our body, and through journaling and trusting and not judging anything that comes up. The more that you can do this, the more that you're going to be connecting to that loving energy of God, the better your life is going to get, because you're going to feel so profound. You are going to feel so loved. You're going to feel so supported, because that's what God is. That's God's energy. So when God asked me, how do you feel about something? That's your cue. That's what we need to pay attention to. How do we feel about something? Anything, whatever it is going on in your life. God feels love always. So when you want to connect with God, you tap into that love. You tap into those loving feelings. If it's something that you're not feeling in love with right now and you're feeling not good about, find a way to shift it a little bit in the way that God would see it. If God is everything, how would God see this? God, give me some guidance. Sit down, breathe, feel your heart, journal it out. God, and I'm saying God so much, but it's like whatever you can, a God of your own understanding. You know, God to me is love, is infinite conscious energy that exists. And there's, you know, many people say like source energy or all that is. But the God that I believe in is everything. It's not just a God in heaven condemning people down on earth and choosing who's going to hell and who's going to heaven. And I personally do not believe that. I personally believe that God is love, God is everywhere, God is everything. And because God is everywhere and everything and is the ultimate source, the ultimate creator, we are part of God. We are one with God. And so when we can become aware of that, acknowledge that, believe that, then we can become who we truly are. We can express more of ourselves. Because when we're in that little ego self, when we are feeling fearful and scared, we're not being who we truly are. We're not being who we were truly made to be. So it's very, very complex. It's a very, very internal type of work that you do on this spiritual journey. And it's something that I've been doing since I was a child, because I grew up in a really fearful household. And so I just felt like there had to be a bigger truth, or like a better answer to this life. Like I couldn't believe that this was just what I was meant to live, just this fearful, you know, limited self. And I knew there had to be more. So that propelled me on this spiritual journey of learning and reading and growing and studying people like Paramhansa Yogananda and reading books like Conversations with God and A Course in Miracles, and you know, learning from a lot of the channelers out there like Abraham Hicks and Bashar and Sarah Landon. So many, I already said Bashar, but there's like so many beautiful channels out there that also communicate with God. That's another way you can do it, is like channeling God, channeling higher energies, bringing them out through you. And you know, we're always communicating with God. When you're doing a painting, when you're playing a sport, when you are engaged in any activity and you're just present in the moment, you are communicating with God. So if you want to keep on communicating, or you want to develop a deeper connection with ultimate reality, with God, with source, with love, then you just have to practice, and you just have to continue going into the silence, being mindful, not judging anything, journaling it out, and then just keep going back to that. Just keep going back, and you will be led and you will be guided, because God is not here to stop you from doing anything. God is not here to put any sort of pressure on you to be something, do something. There is literally zero expectations of you by God. You are perfect just the way you are. You are worthy just the way you are. So your only job here is to just connect with God and follow that loving energy, because we're all different. We're all going to be led to different things, different passions that bring us joy. So continue to follow that. And that'll be a whole nother video too, where I talk about that, because that's huge, just following your passion. But I hope that you got something out of today's video. And if you did, please like this video. Please leave me a comment. Please share your thoughts on this topic. And I would love to hear from you. I am so excited to continue sharing this type of material because I just feel like we need more of it in the world. We need more people connecting with God, following their passion, living their highest excitement, and living true to who they really are, not letting the ego bring us down to our small, little, limited selves. We are so much more. We are so powerful. We are so beautiful. We are so amazing. And I just want to keep sharing that with the world and keep living that in my life as well. So thank you again so much for watching. Like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Love you so much. Namaste.